What's up guys and welcome back to the channel. When the Empire took over, a lot of things changed in the Star Wars galaxy. Palpatine promised a more secure society by transitioning the Republic to the Empire. However, this didn't necessarily mean more security, but ultimately it meant more oppression, with Imperial military acting as a unified police force across each system in the galaxy. Palpatine enacted his Iron Rule. Not only this, but life got a lot harder for certain citizens of the galaxy as well, particularly the non-human races. It is no secret that the Empire was prejudiced against the alien species, as shown by the fact that nearly all Imperial ranks are exclusively given to humans, with only aliens serving as Imperial spies. The only known exception to this rule is Grand Admiral Thrawn, whom the Emperor appointed personally to this role. This topic is one that is rarely touched upon outside of the Star Wars mythos, despite its prevalence and significance in universe, and is something that not many actually know about. It is also quite a jarring change considering how diverse the Galactic Senate was during the era of the Republic. So what was the reason? Was it because Palpatine himself was a racist or a speciesist, or was there another hidden reason? Well, the answer is a little more nuanced than either. The Emperor never does anything without a specific reason. His cunning and foresight is what makes him such a powerful and effective leader, and also why he is so inherently dangerous. Every move he makes is meticulously calculated, and no facet of his personality is what meets the eye. This rings true for why he purposefully inspired prejudice within his own ranks. Our explanation comes from Sidious's chapter in the Book of Sith. So let's look at the passage word for word and then break it down on exactly why he wanted the Empire to be racist and promote this hatred. Indeed, my subjects fear me, but that fear will lead to anger, and anger will make my empire strong. However, anger directed towards authority is very dangerous. It must be channeled toward another, more weak subjects. By encouraging the fear of the exotic and the unusual, a regime can be strengthened. The Empire has uniformity in its symbols and its ideology, which makes it easier to shame those that do not belong, and to them, the objects of the galaxy's rage. The Republic's alien species are the simplest targets. Most humans of the core already despise looking at them and their multiple eyes, or listening to their clicking, buzzing languages. They hate their bewildering customs and their sharp stench. Coruscant is a seething boil of species. It is an ideal place to sow seeds of suspicion, to instill the idea that those who don't conform are the enemy, and enemies must be destroyed. By making the powerless a target, the people will not threaten the one that is ultimately in power. Palpatine explains it pretty clearly and straightforward in his passage. His entire purpose for inspiring the fear and revulsion at the alien species of the galaxy is merely a social power play in order to keep his subjects in line. As we stated earlier, everything that Palpatine does is by his design. By turning the people's fury and attention against one another, they then worry less about the one in power, and in fact, praise him. By enforcing the idea of uniformity in the galaxy, then this keeps everyone on the straight and narrow. One thing I would like to point out is the interesting correlation between this idea of uniformity and the Empire's penchant for the use of technology within the Empire itself. With large war machines such as the Death Star, AT-AT walkers, and similar machinery that he deems to be more predictable. The opposite reflects true for the Rebel Alliance, however, which serves to sharply contrast the two organizations. The Rebellion relies far less on machinery and has a substantial amount of alien species filling their ranks. The Emperor was very displeased with the rising of the Rebellion, as seen multiple times throughout the series, and it made a primary objective to have them snuffed out of the galaxy. The problem only rose whenever they destroyed the Death Star, his prized weapon. After this, the Alliance gained an overwhelming amount of support as they proved to the galaxy that the Empire wasn't infallible or indestructible. As we come to see in the Vader comic series, the major loss got Vader put in hot water with his master. If this wasn't bad enough, Sidious was already extremely disappointed with his apprentice at the time, after he suffered a significant power deprivation after Anakin's failure on Mustafar. For Sidious, he became frustrated that Vader would never become as powerful as he could have been, and this traumatic failure at the Death Star sent them back 20 years of hard work and put cracks in the Empire's image. image. This was what sparked Sidious's search for a possible new apprentice, which we saw in the Vader comic book series when the Dark Lord discovers his master's betrayal and sets out to kill each of the specimens slated to rival Vader. This is likely also why Palpatine was ready to have Luke strike Vader down and take his place by his side. What we're getting at is that for the Emperor, image was everything. To ensure that the Empire remained a symbol of infallibility was paramount. This is why he was so displeased at how clumsy the Inquisitors were, and why he spent so much time continuing to manipulate the galaxy after he had won it and gained position as the Emperor. He made sure to abolish the Imperial Senate by the time of A New Hope, which secured his absolute power. This is possibly also another personal benefit for him to have inspired all of this racism against alien species. As we mentioned earlier, during the era of the Republic, the Senate was incredibly diverse, with many species representing hundreds of worlds. With prejudice abounding, Palpatine was able to slowly siphon their political power until he had the ability to completely do away with the Senate entirely. In the end though, Palpatine would make a fatal mistake, as it was these alien species that would join with the Rebel Alliance, and would subsequently play a major role in Palpatine's downfall. The alien species who had grown tired of the prejudice against them, and what the Empire viewed as their perfect image. An image without alien species, or if there were alien species, they were very much considered second-class citizens. While Palpatine was able to secure immeasurable power against the alien species, as well as the other beings in the galaxy, in a twist of fate, it was the same thing that ultimately resulted in his fall that resulted in the Jedi Order's downfall. That being hubris. The idea that the alien species would ultimately never have enough power to rise up against Palpatine is one of the major reasons why his empire ultimately crumbled. But anyway, acolytes, did you ever question the perpetrated racism by the Empire? Had you ever guessed that there was a deeper reason for it? Be sure to let us know down in the comments down below your thoughts. And as always, my friends, may the Force be with you, and I hope you have a great day.